ॐ ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामय सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखात् भाग् भवेत्. We pray for the happiness of one and all. May everyone be peaceful and comfortable at all levels of the personality. May we see that which is auspicious and divine. May there be no suffering anywhere. Om Shanti Shanti. We'll take up any questions. There is a question. We'll take it up.
Did you say that the question?
There was a question.
Oh,
Do you have a question?
question को पूछ सकते हो आप?
हाँ पूछ सकते हो आप.
Oh,
And we'll chant verse 17 once.
I have a question.
Yes, yes, Stephen. Go
And
ahead.
it follows from last time,
Okay.
speaking about the unperishable reality in the perishable world. And I was wondering, in terms of ourselves, if this is seen as, well, this is part of the perishable world, but the idea of ourselves and the idea of other people, this is perishable. It's just kind of like an image, isn't it? It's like a manifestation. Is that right? Even of ourselves, whether we're dreaming, whether we're awake. It's kind of
Yes.
like an image. It's like an image, a manifestation of, of the total reality.
Right. So, uh, from the point of view of Brahman, we can say just as ocean expresses or manifests as waves, waves arise, exist, and finally merge back into the ocean. The Supreme Brahman is unmanifest. It's eternal, imperishable. But the nature of Brahman, when we talk about manifestation, the nature of Brahman is such there is manifestation. There's manifestation and then there is unmanifestation. Beyond this manifest and unmanifest lies the Supreme Brahman, which is uh, the eternal. From if you are talking from your point of view, when your mind is there, your mind projects the world. So as long as the mind is there, you experience this world. And mind is made up of thoughts. If we are able to remove all thoughts, then we will get back to that unmanifest Brahman.
And are those thoughts, those ideas that we have, is this all Maya? And until we kind of see them, Maya, and then see beyond that.
Yeah. So uh, rope remains as a rope remains as a rope. How does rope become a snake? That we say is Maya. Rope remains as rope. So Brahman never becomes all this manifestation. But now, since we are experiencing manifestation, we are experiencing individuality, we're experiencing a world. Then we have to follow the rules of the game. But at the same time, we cannot shy away from the truth. We have to seek the truth. What we seek, we'll ultimately gain. So we have to seek the truth. There is a clear method given how to get back to the self. Okay.
Thanks.
Right. I'm again chanting verse 17 so that the idea is it should leave a deep imprint in our mind.
सहस्रयुगपर्यन्तम् अहर्यद्ब्रह्मणो विदुः रात्रिम् युगसहस्रान्ताम् देवो रात्रविदो जनाः.
Sorry. Okay. In terms of space, when you compare the entire universe, the entire Milky Way, at least through the pictures, we can understand that even the solar system is just a dot in that ocean, in that infinite expanse of the universe. So what really happens to the solar system doesn't really make any difference to the universe. So that is what we say is objectivity, a sense of detachment. See, this is to be given to a person who is very sattvic. So this tamas, rajas, sattva is very, very important. We cannot escape from our obligatory duties. While we are in this realm of existence where we have a world, we have individuals, we have where we have relationships, and clearly based on the relationships, there are certain obligatory duties and responsibilities. Another way of looking at it is as long as we have desires, be true to yourself. As long as you have desires, you are tempted by the world, we get affected by the world. There is joy and sorrow, there is fluctuation. That means we are definitely not in a state of perfect detachment. Perfect detachment is an actor on a stage. He knows his true identity, and even then he plays his part. So even an enlightened master is playing its part. So no action, no action is never an option. We have to be active. So a tamasic person listens to this. Oh, what is even solar system? Something happens that doesn't make a difference to the universe. That I'll not do anything. If you take that kind of a stance, I first of all I'll get very bad karma, and secondly, uh, you will also get very bad karma. Tamas means it will manifest as a lot of suffering because you're not above the world, you're full of desires, but you're not doing anything about it. Now, much higher than tamas is rajas, where we are doing everything, we are caught up in it. We are putting in a lot of effort to perform actions. Mostly they are desire-ridden activities. So we say, don't perform desire-ridden activities, fix obligations, fix obligations, and do what you ought to do. Do your obligatory duties and responsibilities. Now, when we are attached and involved, how to get back, how to be in a state where you're calm, equanimous, unaffected while you're fully participating. That is where we need the spirit of detachment. To a person who is putting in 110% effort, I'm just making, by saying 110%, I'm making sure we are giving our everything to whatever we need to do. Tamasic person is lazy, inactive, is not putting in effort. So to a tamasic person, if this is said that this sort of a panoramic view of life is presented, then he will not function. Sattvic attitude is, yes, while I am caught up in this phenomena and there is a law of karma functioning, let me do what I'm supposed to do selflessly, without ego, because that's the way out of this phenomena. So how do you gain that spirit of detachment? To the universe, what is happening in the solar system doesn't make a difference. So what we are doing, how does it make a difference? But it makes a difference to our karma. So let us do what we are supposed to do the best of our ability and keep this vision in mind. Verse 17 talked about the same vision in terms of time, and it presents the last line of the commentary. He says the verse helps a seeker. One second. Was a seeker to elevate himself to a high philosophic vision of the cosmic design and that which transit, transcends it all, Supreme Brahman. It gives us a vision of the Supreme, a vision of the magnitude of what we are going through. The four yogas. A day in the life of Brahma itself is 1,000 Mahayugas. Now, Brahma or Brahmaloka, we discussed, it can be taken as a mental state. You can take it as a geographical place. When you do a lot of good desire and activities, when you are helping others, you gain a lot of punya. You are in a state of enjoyment, physical comfort, mental peace. That is said to be Brahmaloka. Now, Brahmaloka is being presented. Sri Krishna is presenting Arjuna. He is encouraging him to do at least minimum is to do good karma. So it is 1,000 Mahayugas. Kali Yuga itself is 4,32,000 years. I'm repeating so that I remember and all of you remember. It should leave a deep imprint in the mind. Dwapara Yuga, the second one, is double of Kali Yuga. Tetra Yuga is three times Kali Yuga, 4,32,000 years, which itself is a incredible. How long we'll live? 100 years. 4,32,000 years means 100 times uh, 43,220, 43,020, something like that. So it's a phenomenal figure. Kali Yuga itself is a phenomenal figure. Then Dwapara Yuga, Tetra Yuga, Satya Yuga, thank God, the best Yuga is four times 4,32,000. All put together is one Mahayuga. And the day of Brahma is 1,000 Mahayugas. It's inconceivable. You stretch and stretch, you cannot conceive. The night is also same duration. And Lord Brahma lives for 100 years, means it's infinite. It seems infinite, but even Brahma's lifespan is finite. Uh, so Brahma is said to be living for 100 years. So, um, what it means is everything is passing, finite, limited. So, if everything, the universe itself is limited, what are we worried about? So, what this should bring about that spirit of detachment that nothing really matters, yet we have to quickly get to that supreme Brahman from all this, or from which all this is arising. So I would say read the commentary very carefully of 17. Second. Knowing the transient character of even Brahmaloka, man begins to realize the fleeting and perishable nature of the world. Nothing is going to be there forever and ever. While it is there, participate fully, do what you have to do. But remembering this, let go. When the time comes, it is not depending on us what will come when and what will go when. It's just happening. So we say go with the flow of things. And in that, whatever you need to do, keep doing. The next verse talked about the manifestation and unmanifestation with reference to the individual. As long as we have vasanas, the vasanas will continuously manifest as thoughts, desires, and action. And then there is the waking state in which this is happening. Vasana, thought, desire, action is happening in the waking and the dream state. And then we go to night. So this cycle of manifestation and unmanifestation, vasanas producing thought, desire, action, will constantly keep on happening as long as there is vasanas. The spiritual life is all about exhausting vasanas by functioning selflessly, without ego. When we become egoistic, desire-ridden, we gain more vasana. But if we just let the vasanas exhaust itself by pitching up something higher, by thinking of something higher. Uh, So uh, there is a way we can increase vasanas, or there is a way we can exhaust vasanas. So as long as there is vasanas in the waking state, thought, desire, action, and this cycle of waking, dream, deep sleep will continue. Then in the next verse, he talks about the same manifestation and unmanifestation from the macrocosmic point of view. 18 was microcosm, the individual. 19 was macrocosmic. The entire world is born during pralaya, creation, and then it goes back into unmanifestation. This goes on and on. So this is more with reference to what we are experiencing. There is a Brahman, the Brahman manifestation is like one day of Brahma, 1,000 Mahayugas, and then there is a pralaya, destruction. The whole thing goes into unmanifestation. So a person who is trying to understand the world, where is all this happening? This is a very beautiful picturization. There is the ocean, which is Brahman. From that, there is a manifestation, which is the universe. This universe will continue for whatever, 1,000 Mahayugas, and then the whole thing will go to unmanifest. It will remain unmanifest for a long time. Again, it will manifest. From the individual point of view, as long as we have vasanas, we manifest, and then we go into unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest. Thought, desire, action is manifestation. Vasana is unmanifestation. This also will continue as long as there is vasanas is there. Beyond all this, the 20th verse said, but there exists higher than the unmanifested, yet another unmanifested being, eternal, which is not destroyed when all beings are destroyed. When the waves are destroyed, ocean is not destroyed. When everything goes into unmanifest, Brahman is there. Brahman is the source of the manifest and unmanifest. It is yet another manifested being. The example of ocean itself is enough. Or you can take Brahman as a huge fire. In the Mundaka Upanishad, it says, Brahman is like a huge fire. All beings are sparks. A spark comes out of the fire, it lights for a while, and again goes into unmanifest. Waves manifest, unmanifest. Sparks manifest, unmanifest. So Brahman is that huge fire from which we are all sparks, we are coming out. Spark is also fire. Like wave is also water, ocean is also water. So you're slowly stretching your conception. Intellectually, you have to visualize that there is a manifestation. The whole thing can go to unmanifestation. Simple is to see what is happening in our day-to-day lives. We are manifest now. At night, we go into unmanifest. This is happening at the microcosmic level. The same thing is happening in the macrocosmic level. And beyond that lies the ultimate truth. That is the goal of human existence. That was the next verse, which we covered which we were doing towards the end. The unmanifested is called the imperishable. Waves can be born and destroyed. Sparks will be born and destroyed. But the supreme fire, ocean cannot be destroyed. It is imperishable. It is the ultimate goal. We are all seeking happiness. Nothing in the world, no matter what we achieve, can give us absolute happiness. So, to that extent, we need to we experience worldly happiness, physical pleasures, emotional joy, etc. But our goal should be that everlasting bliss, unbroken bliss, akhandanandam. Our pursuit of happiness will end only when we realize the self as Satchitanand, absolute bliss, eternal bliss. Having reached there is no return. So Brahmaloka we are experiencing which is such a long period of time. So indirectly, he's saying, don't waste your time just doing good activities. Good activities. Okay, let me ask, why is good activities necessary? Why do we need to do good activities?
To gain punya.
Why do we need to gain punya? Correct, but why do we need to gain punya? What happens when we do a lot of papa?
Agitation of the mind.
Okay, correct. When the mind is agitated, what will happen? Suffering and
Purification of the mind, basically. We are doing good
okay,
work
right.
for
So
purification of mind.
okay, papa will lead to agitation, punya will lead to purification of the mind. Why? Why do we need it?
To concentrate and acquire the required knowledge in the self of the
And yeah, an impure mind cannot understand the deeper import of the scriptures. That should really hit us hard. An impure mind, a mind which is tamasic and rajasic, it is just repeating the words. Many times I've heard seniors saying, we are so used to, um, because we are in the field, many times we are talking out of memory, but has it really hit hard? If it's really hits you, there will be a spirit of detachment. You will be like an actor on a stage, fully participating, but we are not affected. So good karma is required so that the mind is pure and calm. When we are selfish and doing a lot of other things, uh, when we are selfish and egocentrically caught up in the world, the mind is very agitated, stressed out. A stressed out mind listening to the scriptures, it will have some impact, but it is not getting the deeper import of the scripture. Swamiji sometimes, many times, he used to say there is no relative awakening. Absolute awakening is where you have realized the self. You are realized that you are the actor. Now you're playing a role. Relative awakening is where you're using your body, mind, intellect to do even tapas, karma, bhakti, jnana. You want to detach from your body, mind, intellect and seek the self. That is relative awakening. So now, even though we are studying the scriptures, ultimately we are still trying to protect our body, mind, intellect. For example, many times we say, which it's not a wrong thought, but many times we say, no, no, we are in this spiritual field. We are good people. We are spiritual people. We are living a spiritual life. Nothing will happen to me. So indirectly, we are still trying to protect the ego, protect the individuality. It, of course, we need to take care of ourselves, but we have to understand I am not Basap. I am playing the role of Basap. This body, mind, intellect is not me. They belong to me. I need to use it to get to that supreme unmanifest, get to Brahman. So Punya karma is essential so that the mind is peaceful. Even the Navratri has the same significance. First 3 days, middle 3 days, last 3 days. First 3 days, goddess Kali is invoked to destroy our negative tendencies, the deep-rooted negative tendencies, jealous, whatever, all these negative qualities, jealousy, hatred, laziness. Then next 3 days, goddess Lakshmi is worshipped. We have to invoke all the good qualities: humility, gratitude, service and sacrifice, compassion, love. Finally, then we say Jnana Yogata. You Chitta Shuddhi, what Ullas said, self-purification, Chitta Shuddhi. Once Chitta Shuddhi happens, we gain Jnana Yogata means qualified to understand what the Guru is saying. That you are not the body, mind, intellect, you are the self. You are not the waker or the dreamer or the deep sleeper. You are playing these roles, but you are the self. So we should at least gain that relative awakening. For even relative awakening, we need good karma. So when we do good karma, we are in a realm of heaven, Brahma Loka. The realm of heaven, physically there is comfort, emotionally there is peace, there is no humiliation, there is respect. Now, Brahma Loka itself can be 1,000 Mahayugas, 4.32 billion years. That itself is temporary. So in a way, the Guru is saying, Sri Krishna is saying, okay, you do good karma, but don't get caught up in a good karma. You will be remaining for eternal years, as it were, enjoying good. But Brahmaloka is just a dot in the infinite bliss of Brahman. All the happiness that you can conceive in the world, you're the most beautiful person, most knowledgeable person, most richest person, most healthiest person, the greatest sportsman, all put together is uh, let's say 1 unit of happiness in the world, which itself is not conceivable. Clerk in Brahmaloka has 100 times more. CEO in Brahmaloka has 1,000 times more. That is a dot in Brahman. So having, the Atma Bodha says, having attained that, there is nothing else to be attained. Let me see if I can show that verse to you. It might be uh, useful. Uh, I think I showed it to a couple of class back. Brahma and all others enjoy in proportion only an iota of that unbroken bliss. Unbroken bliss is Brahman, the supreme unmanifest. Beyond the manifest and the unmanifest lies Brahman, which is Akhandanandam, unbroken bliss, which is our own self, which is what we are right now, but we are not aware of it. And now we are doing not, and out of that ignorance, we are doing bad karma. We are fighting with each other. We are doing harm to others. There is no chance. At least become a good human being. Start doing good to others. Then that will take you to Brahmaloka. Brahmaloka also is finite. No, no, no. Now do proper sadhana, become completely objective, detached from your body, mind, intellect to seek the infinite bliss of Brahman. Uh, So very soon it will come. Chanda, I'm glad you're there. A couple of weeks back we were discussing. So there is path of return. Path of return is it'll come in the next 2 3 verses. Path of return is you are doing good, you go to heaven as it were, but then you exhaust that punya and you come back. That is path of return. Direct liberation is, which is a high state. You are not interested in anything for the body, mind, intellect. You just want to get back to the self. So completely selfless. See, this thought of Brahman, if you are thinking carefully, you will get this question. We are saying Brahman is a state of thoughtlessness, desirelessness. You have to exhaust all desires. But then in the class, constantly we are saying develop the desire of self-purification, develop the desire for self-realization. Isn't that an impurity? The, the, the desire for self-realization is the last desire, is the desire which will take away all other desires. Again, in the Atma Bodha, it is considered to be a Kataka nut powder. See, when in Kataka nut powder, in that example, there's a well with water, and the water has impurities. So already we are full of desires, and now we are putting the desire for Brahman. Similarly, the water has impurities. What in the villages they do is they take this Kataka nut powder and they sprinkle it, and this Kataka nut powder forms a slimy surface. It becomes a slimy surface, and when it becomes when it forms a slimy surface, dirt sticks to it. So it becomes heavier. Then it sinks down. More dirt sticks to it. See how beautiful it is. You sprinkle katakana powder on top, the slimy surface, dirt sticks to it, it becomes heavier. It sinks down. More dirt sticks, becomes more heavier, sinks down. Slowly, slowly, it sinks to the bottom and settles down, leaving the pure crystal water above. So, um, similarly, we are putting this desire, become a better human being, become a better human being. Entertain the desire for self-realization. We are adding more dirt as it were, but this dirt will remove all other dirts. So when we are good, when we are bad, we are agitated, develop good desires, which will necessarily take you to a good experiences, happier experiences. Use that to get back to the self. So this desire for Brahman, I missed that point. This desire for Brahman is considered not a worldly desire. This thought of Brahman is not pertaining to the world. Thought of Brahman is not, or any desire is pertaining to the world. With reference to the world, there is good and bad. I do good actions, I get punya. I do bad actions, I get papa. Bad action is propelled by selfish desires. Good action is propelled by unselfish desire. But this desire for a moment is not a worldly motive. That is what I want to. That is what I wanted to say. Katakana powder entered my mind. Uh, when you are acting with the desire to realize the self, desire for self-realization is not a worldly desire. We don't know what it is, but at least it removes all worldly desires. It is not something pertinent to the world. So that desire has the power to remove all other desires, like Katakanat powder takes away all the dirt and finally settles down below. So we go to Brahmaloka, but thought is on Brahman, then that is path of no return. And somebody who is able to directly conceive Brahman and go straight to it, it's called Kaivalya Mukti. It's going to come. Don't worry about it. Path of sun and path of moon, what all. As long as the concept is clear, don't have to worry about the names. We'll study it. Anybody, any question?
So just a small question.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to like, can peace help with suffering? So it's because you asked this question why punya is important, and then I thought like it's because we understand the suffering better. Like why are we suffering?
Correct.
Because
Correct. See,
yeah.
correct. To avoid suffering, to, correct. If somebody is suffering, we will say, uh, like we say, somebody who comes depressed. If they are able, if they are receptive, we will say, don't think about yourself. Start doing something for others. So when somebody is suffering, we'll say, do something good. So it is what will happen to me. The extreme egocentricity and selfishness is what causes suffering. Whereas when we are doing whatever we are doing, the attitude, see, we are not not changing the work. Carry on with whatever you're doing. You don't have to change your family, you don't have to change your work. We are only changing the mental attitude. Earlier, I'm doing the work with what I will get for myself. Now I'm doing the work with the idea, what can I do for others? So when we do things for others, there is punya, you will be less agitated. So, but then that is limited now. It's like you go to Brahmaloka, which could be 1,000 Mahayugas, and you come back. You come back to the realm of suffering. On earth, take earth as a jail. In the jail you do good, you're in a golden prison, but you're still inside the prison. Yeah. Inside the prison means earth means there is day and night. It's impossible to escape suffering. So now, when you are already a good prisoner at it, where find the key to get out of it. Getting out of it is a totally different realm of happiness, unbroken bliss. Getting out of it is selflessly. You identify with the self and function. So, but we cannot become selfless from being selfish. It's just the opposite. At least let me do good to others. When I'm working for myself, then I start working for others. And then next what? Okay, I'm working for others, but that will finish. Now bring in the concept of God, bring in the concept of self. See the divine everywhere. Others don't need our support. But while I'm there, I should do what I should do. Uh, so, uh, so each one at their level. Suddenly, you don't have to think of Brahman. Start thinking that let me just try and become a better human being. And then there will be a time come. So now, next what? Okay, I'm happy. That happiness is not going to last forever. Even if it is Brahma Loka, it's going to come to an end. So you are able to visualize that. Okay, I'm doing good, but then again, next what? You finish punya, again you're born, whatever your desires. So, but in the realm of Brahman, it's infinite happiness. We have to slowly see. I'm taking you to the commentary of Bhajagovindam. The first verse of Bhajagovindam in the commentary, Swamiji says that the mind is unaware. He says the Guru Adi Shankaracharya. He was the author of Atma Bodha also. In he says the whole theme is Bhaja Govindam. Bhaja Govindam, Govindam. But seek the self. Seek the self. In the commentary says the mind is unaware of the glory and grandeur of the self. See the first line. Oh foolish mind. All right, now the mind is foolish. The mind is unaware of the infinite glory. See, I also forgot infinite. Infinite glory and grandeur of the self. It is ignorant of the bliss of the supreme self within. So it runs after the instant pleasures the world provides, which ultimately causes mental agitation and sorrow and suffering. So now we have to, so all the attempts, why are we constantly saying Mahayuga and this and that, and all that also is a drop in the infinite uh, happiness of Brahman. Whatever enjoyment in the world will come to an end. Then what? But here is Brahman, which is our nature, which is what we are at this moment. It's so frustrating, no? Alas, alas, says the Upanishad. You are the self, but you don't realize the self. Absolute bliss we are at this very moment. They say the whole experience is like dozing off for a few seconds. Wake up to the reality, wake up to the reality of your own self. Self within is infinite bliss. So slowly we have to make that paradigm shift, start thinking in those directions. Okay, punya will give me some happiness. That's temporary. So let me start encouraging that thought. Let me realize the self. Right now, I want to become a good human being. That story of the sheep, no? There was a sheep, sorry, there was a lion which thought it was a sheep. And it goes to the real lion, and the real lion is saying, so finally you have come. How much time you have? No, 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 my mother is waiting. I have to go back. Which mother is waiting? My sheep mother is waiting. The guru gets angry and says, you are not a sheep, you're a lion. No, sir, I am a sheep. Then why have you come? Get out. He sits for a while and says, sir, I just want to become a good sheep. Becoming a good sheep is good in going punya. Right now, we want to become a human being, but the point is, we are not a human being that need a spiritual life. That is a starting point. We are not human beings that need spiritual life. We are spiritual beings going through human life. So now this desire to realize the self is called mumukshatva. It's considered to be the most fantastic quality of a spiritual seeker. You are a spiritual seeker when you are a mumukshatva. You are a good human being when you want to become a good human being. I mean, when you want to become a better human being. That is a starting point. You can't have mumukshatva if you are a negative person. We need chitta shuddhi. We need to be positive. But then I'm saying now, we have to develop the desire for mumukshatva, a yearning for liberation. At the highest stage, that yearning for liberation is a burning desire. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, like when a person's head is immersed under water, how desperately he would be wanting oxygen. Nothing else matters. Buddha felt that suffocation. He had a lovely wife, lovely child. He was the king. Everything was perfect in his life. But when he saw those four incidents, uh, person who is sick, and he asked his charioteer, will I also fall sick? He says, everybody will fall sick. And he saw an old person, because till then he was all protected. His father had kept him only in seeing good things. Oh, what is that person? Old person? Will I get old? Yes, everybody gets old. Then he saw a person dying. And then the fourth one was he saw somebody meditating under the tree. Four incidents. And he says, no, I want only permanent bliss. Now, he already had a mukshatva, he had to walk out. We don't have to walk out. We have to be wherever we are, start with unselfish actions, and then we say, I don't want Brahmalok also. I want Brahman. I want that N also, not just Brahma. Brahma is just happiness, which is inevitable. But go to Brahma and come back, path of return. At least that should not happen. Let's assume we are already in Brahmaloka. If you are peaceful and comfortable, who is to say this is not Brahmaloka? Uh, this is Brahmaloka, the mental state. And now, if you're seeking the self, you will reach Brahman. Okay? Right. That is my supreme abode. Once you reach Brahman, once you wake up from the dream, there is no going back to the dream. But we need to wake up. The chant verse 22.
पुरुषः स परः पार्थ भक्त्या लभ्यस्त्वनन्यया यस्यान्तस्थानि भूतानि येन सर्वमिदं ततम्.
O Partha, that supreme being in whom all beings dwell. So there is a supreme being, supreme Purusha, inconceivable, in which we all of us are there, by whom all this is pervaded, indeed attainable by unswerving devotion. Sometimes he says you have to get to the self by karma. Sometimes he says you will have to get to the self with knowledge. Sometimes he'll say get to the self with devotion. So here devotion is highlighted. So that part is clear. We have body, mind, intellect. We are all different. Our proportions are different. That is very important to understand. First step is to develop the intellect, gain some, start using the intellect. That if you are mind-led, we get involved. Use the intellect, be objective, gain a fair amount, I don't know, few months of Vedantic knowledge. Then you get a little bit more clarity about yourself. If you're living with a guru, it's a totally different thing. Don't worry about it. You surrender to him, he will take you. But now with this kind of online classes, you will have to do that work yourself. Once you have gained fair amount of knowledge, some of you have done well. You are many years of into this path. So the more you spend, the more clarity you will get about how much of intellectual you are, how much of devotional you are, emotional you are, and how much of active you are. The active person, we have to get into action. Like I said, even a self-realized person is active. He is also dynamic, but his action is more introverted action, mental action, as it were. When we have a lot of desires, the active nature, use your swadharma talent to serve and sacrifice. To the extent we have these emotions, we have to get into devotional practices. And to the extent you are seeking knowledge, see, some people can attend many classes. Some people um, are more intellectual, sort of questioning, rational. There's a lot of thirst for knowledge. But whatever intellectual capacity we say minimum is early morning study, minimum in attending 1 or 2 classes. And then some people join the academy. In the academy, it's like 4 o'clock you're studying, 9:30 you're attending class. Afternoon also sometimes you're studying evenings. So that's a full-time study. That's not designed for everybody. If you're uh, really of that type, we say, okay, you join the academy. Many come at least few months or few weeks. Minimum knowledge a human being needs. Uh, like we have to drive the car. Not everybody doesn't have to become like a Michael Schumacher and make it as a permanent thing. So you have to find out your proportion accordingly, according to your constitution. You have to perform karma bhakti jnana. So when you are practicing devotion, practice it fully. When you are practicing knowledge, go into it fully. When you're doing karma, do it with your heart and soul. Generally, early morning, uh, study in the literature or listen to a lecture, at least minimum 20 minutes, half an hour, if not 1 hour, if you can, and keep in touch with the classes, at least two, whatever. At least one class, two, three is also fine. Like when we recommend people to do e-learning, some people do it every morning. So morning study plus 1 or 2 classes where you can interact. So that's the knowledge. Karma is everybody has to obligated duties. We all have to do karma. As I said, realized person also is doing karma. We have to do karma. Then what happens to bhakti? You keep certain practices where you are directly, it's like a spiritual activity. You can sing bhajans or you can, it's very, very personal. Somebody may go to a church, mosque or temple, somebody singing bhajans or somebody just sitting down and praying to God. But bhakti, you cannot limit it to a time frame. You study with devotion, you work with devotion. Whatever you do, the feeling of devotion is there. The devotion is like salt in the food. Without that, it becomes very, very mechanical. Knowledge plus devotion. Okay, knowledge minus devotion leads to arrogance. Devotion without knowledge leads to superstition. Now, either people are superstitious or they become arrogant. So we have to bring in this, what we say, confluence. So many times we say we have to have that confluence. Where there is true confluence, there is true wisdom. The mind should feel what the intellect understands. Intellect should understand what the mind feels. Every verse, every class. There's no point saying, "Oh, I am Brahman, I am everything," and not feel it, and no feeling, "Oh, I am God, oh, I'm God," start crying, "I'm God, oh, I am God, I am God." No, you have to balance both. You feel it, but you understand it. Then there is sort of you. There is a maturity. It's not neither it's mechanic. So without feeling, it's mechanical. Or reporting, I am not the body, mind, intellect, and the self. You can write an exam, also get 100 out of 100, but has it changed you? And you just feel it, and then you don't understand it. Somebody comes and says, "No, you're not a body, mind, intellect. You're a stone or a statue. You're something. You're a robot." You start shaking when the understanding is not there. But when the understanding and feeling is there, then you are a balanced person. You are inspired, but you're not. See, emotions. What happens is you suddenly get a boost, but it is like a 100-meter race. With knowledge, with understanding and emotion, you can run the marathon. You will not stop till you complete the journey. Devotion. Wait, what is so he says you reach that state with devotion. The first part. So there is a supreme being in whom all beings dwell, by whom all this is pervaded. The only way to understand this concept is the example. Thank God this experience is there. The experience of dream. You're lying in the bed and you're dreaming that you are on a seashore, huge waves, sun, mountains, you're having a very good time. Your bed is dry, but you're seeing waves in front of you. The dream world is a projection of your mind. The mind, that subconscious mind, the conscious mind suddenly projects a dream world. While you are in the dream, you can never conceive that the dream world is not real. The dream world appears very, very real to the dreamer. It's only when we wake up, we dismiss it as a meaningless nothing. Now, from the waking point, waker's point of view, from the waking state point of view, we understand the dream world was not real. I'm sleeping in my ashram room, whereas I'm dreaming I'm in somewhere. Let's say I'm in Cape Town, and seeing the mountains and the ocean. The whole thing was a projection of the mind. One ray of the mind became the dream sun. One ray of the mind became the one fiber of the mind became the mountain. One fiber became the ocean. One fiber is the concrete jungle. Everything in the dream world, the dream family, the dream car, the dream house, the dream people, the dream world is nothing but it's a it's all fibers and fibers of the mind. If you are taking the stance of the dreamer's mind, if you're taking the stance of the waker's mind, both are same. Dreamers, suppose the dream guru is talking to the dreamer, he will say, your mind has projected all this. He said, what? Veka understands, yes, it was my projection. He is with reference to the dream world, the waker is self-realized. He knows what happened. Now we are all caught up in the dream. We are all dreamers. The dream guru is saying, all this is a projection of the mind. How do you understand? Through the dream example only. Without the dream example, self-realization is inconceivable. This is called upama. Upama means comparison. Without the comparison of how the dream world and the waking world happens, it is impossible to conceive how all this waking world can fold back into pure consciousness, fourth state of God consciousness. All that we are experiencing is fibers and fibers of that one Brahman. So just as now you first we'll take dream and waking world. The supreme being is the mind. All the dream beings is in the mind. In the dream world, all my friends and families, the entire 8 billion population, all the animals, plants, where is it? It is in the mind. The entire dream beings, dream world is in the mind, by whom all this is pervaded. And so one is to say all beings are in the dream mind, dreamer's mind, in the mind. All the dream world, dream beings are in the mind. The other is to say the mind pervades everything. Are you able to get it? If you don't get it, don't worry. We'll get again, it will come. All the dream beings. First you conceive the dream. Yeah, I experience dream. In the dream world, there is dream beings, 8 billion human beings. There's tigers and peacocks and deers and all fishes and birds, the mountains, everything. All that is in the mind. And the mind is, wherever there is a dream world, the mind is there. Now, come back to the waking state. I'll come to it, Stephen. I'll just finish this and come to your point. Now, the waking state, there is a supreme being, that is Brahman, that is supreme God, is the pure consciousness. Everything in the waking world is in Brahman, like all waves are in the ocean. And wherever you see the waking world, wherever the universe is there, all this is pervaded by God. God is omnipresent, everywhere, all pervading. So the supreme Brahman, the supreme self, the pure consciousness is in every being, everything, everywhere. There is nowhere it is not. All of this is in Brahman. Brahman is everywhere. Just as all dream beings are in the mind and mind is everywhere of the dream. There cannot be a part of the dream where the mind is not there. The mind has become the dream world. Similarly, this God has manifested as this waking world. Wherever that illusory snake is there, rope is there. The rope has become the snake. Take up Stephen's question. We are also a dream being in the dream. Yes, when you are in the dream, you are also part of the dream. Right now, we are in Brahman, but we are like a manifestation of Brahman. Now, our identification is unfortunately with the ego. Now, the idea is to get back. And here he says, you get back to Brahman. To achieve that supreme being, he says, practice unswerving devotion. To explain devotion properly, even 2 classes are not enough. I'm looking at the time, there is 9 minutes, but it's okay. We will cover it again and again. To keep the broad highlights, devotion is a feeling of love. Love, we understand, love is for our equals. I love my partner, I love my pets, I love my laptop. I love my phone. That's love, a feeling of oneness. When that same feeling or emotion is directed towards something higher, we say that is devotion. Love and devotion are one and the same emotion of affection and fondness, a feeling of oneness. When this feeling is directed towards our parents, towards our teachers, towards our guru, towards God, is devotion. So you feel for that divine. Starting point may be just a starting point can be just an awareness. So many things are happening. Awareness of what is happening in the macrocosm, what is happening in the microcosm. In the microcosm, as long as all the parts of the body that you are not aware of. If you have a back pain, you are aware of your back. One of my colleagues, he couldn't sleep for months because of back pain. It's unimaginable, right? We are able to sleep, or we don't even feel the back because there is no back pain. If you are not aware of your brain, if you're not aware of your kidney, if you're not aware of your lungs, we study in biology, therefore we know all this is there. Otherwise, suppose there is a healthy person who doesn't know science. He doesn't know there is a kidney, there is a liver, there is a lungs, there is a heart, there is a brain. But even in his case, even if he is in ignorance, all his internal organs are coordinating beautifully, functioning beautifully. The kidney knows what it has to discard and what it has to retain. The left side of the brain knows that it has to take care of the right side of the body. The right side of the brain knows it has to take care of the left side of the body. If you uh, take all the arteries and line it up, it will go on for kilometers and kilometers. Now, at least here we can humble our ego and say it's all by the grace of God. It's all by the grace of some unknown power, unknown power. So awareness of what is happening inside, awareness of what is happening outside. The earth, we are dumping disease, decay, and death into earth. We spit, we throw dead bodies, we throw all the garbage in the earth, but earth keeps on producing vegetation over and over again.
I,
So now all the wars are putting blood into the earth, but Mother Earth is producing vegetables. Even in garbage, coconut water is giving clean water. So fruits, vegetables, oxygen in the air. For 2 minutes, Brahmans forgot
I,
oxygen.
I want
Ah,
to add,
yes.
when I was in Haridwar, I saw that love, for the Ganga. I went
Mm,
to a local arty, just a small local arty, and I just saw
mm.
that love, that the locals
So
had, the
yeah, so
people that
yeah,
live there.
so the culture is we don't leave anything undivinized. We divinize everything. It's not a river, it's Mother Ganga, and we worship it. It's not a mountain, it is Parvati or Himavan. Diseases are, when smallpox happened in South India, they say God has come home. Nothing is left undivinized. Everything. Ignorance is also divinized. Kubera has an ugly face. Goddess Lakshmi has a bright face. Wealth is divinized. Hoarding is also divinized. There is only humans create pollution. Nature is best. Yeah. So become aware of, become aware of. You say so. More you are attuned, as Swamiji says, you can peel a banana and go into raptures. Who packaged that banana? How is that all bananas have same taste? So many varieties of mango. So that way, if you want to feel divinity, just go to the marketplace, big basket or whatever in the bazaar, and just see the different colors of the vegetables, different colors of fruits, what texture, what taste, what flowers. See, when anything is splashed too much, now we miss it. When do we miss electricity? Do we miss God because it's all the time there? When do we miss electricity when it's not there? I still remember in the academy, most of the times everything is, see, in the academy, the advantage is in the ashram that there is a department for everything. So I don't have to worry about food. I just have to go at 8:30, get the food. 1:15, I get the food. There's a kitchen team. There's a plumbing team. One morning I woke up at 4:15. I put the tap on. There was no water. And I realized I can't do anything. Can't brush teeth. Can't drink. I mean, drinking water was there. Your life will come to a standstill. But when it comes, like there is this little children, they feel that talk about the other day there was a little child here. He was saying I was trying to explain uh, something. I was just foolishly talking, and then I had to tell her that yeah, there is something called landline. which is stuck with wires. Can you Google it and show it to me? She's saying, you can't. For her to, as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, landline is like something inconceivable, right? So when so I also saw after a long time, so there's a dialing thing, how we used to dial 2, 3, we used to remember all the numbers. Now we don't remember the numbers. That's why Swami said when the intellect deteriorates, you have to, what is your name? Wait, wait, wait. Which you have to check your phone, what gender you are, and you have to check your intellect is deteriorated. So see the splash of divinity everywhere. Through the splash of divinity everywhere, there is a gratitude that nothing is in my hand. And then an awareness, the gratitude is not for just for me, for the general world. Sunlight is for all of us. It's not, thank you. I mean, just an awareness of divinity. And then thy will be done. That divine power is all knowing, all compassionate. It knows what needs to happen, when it needs to happen. So another aspect of devotion. Surrender your worry, anxiety, and feel that the grace of God everywhere. It's whatever happens, happens for the best. It's all by the grace of God. Uh, so love for nature is another so seeing the splash of divinity in nature and loving it, not destroying it. Oh, divinity is everywhere, and I'm doing all things which is harmful. Be more conscious. One of the signs of a truly, like today I said, relative awakening. A person who is relatively awakened, he will use the resources of the world very, very carefully. He will not misuse the resource of the world, and he will keep on contributing. Nobody can return what we have received. You cannot repay your oxygen bill. Even what parents do for little children, you cannot repay it. How can you repay? You cannot repay it. Least we can do is to take care of them. Uh, Awake for months and months, mother may be awake taking care of us. We'll die without their help when we are 1 year or 2 year old. Can you repay that? So that's just one aspect. You just cannot repay. Like, okay, we pay 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees for a flight ticket. Can you really come on the flight if you have paid 10,000 rupees? 100 people are there. Therefore, so just a general awareness um, of what all is happening. Um, and then consuming the resources less. You're protecting nature. You're grateful to nature. You're wherever possible, you repay. The spirit of repaying. Is there anything I can do? Suppose you say, sir, I'm an expert, I can't do anything. Just sit quietly without complaining or grumbling. I don't think anybody is like that. But suppose that's what honest blindness John Milton says. They also serve who stand and wait. For some reason, you can't do anything. That's the role you have to play. Just sit quietly doing nothing, remembering the divine. We have genuine devotion, have love for everyone, no hatred. If you have a problem forgiving anybody, ask me next class. Okay, I had a question from last class. I didn't take it up before. Um, so in the last, I think last 2, 3 classes, we have been talking about 100 Mahayugas. Actually, the day of Brahma, if I'm not wrong, is 1,000 Mahayugas. 4,32,000 is Kali Yuga. Double of that is, so basically 1, 3, 6, 10 times. So 4.32 billion years. Let me go to the verse one. 4.32 billion years is one day of Brahma. 17. 1,000 Mahayugas, which is one day of Brahma, is 4.32 billion terrestrial years. We at the most can understand 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, 4.32 billion years. Apparently, Google says it is 311 trillion years. Trillion must be 1,000 billion, right? Now, what is the significance of this information? And what happens after? So there is creation, there is dissolution, manifest, unmanifest. So what the scriptures are saying is manifest and at the individual level, uh, as I covered today also, we are awake and then we go to sleep. This is individual level, manifestation, unmanifestation is happening. At the cosmic level also this will happen. Now there is a creation and then pralaya, is the destruction, where everything goes to unmanifest. And for that, this stupendous figure is given, almost inconceivable figure, 1,000 Mahayugas, okay, if you have to take the Google figure, 311 trillion human years is creation, destruction. After unmanifestation, the whole thing will come back. Yes, it will keep on repeating, like day and night keeps on repeating, as long as we have vasanas. The idea of to study is to see the magnitude of the totality and how insignificant in the total scheme of things we are. But then, while we are there, everything is important. We have to do what we have to do to the best of our ability with a clear goal. But to remove the sorrow, we remember that. Remove the attachment. Attachment causes sorrow. To gain the spirit of detachment, the whole the entire magnitude is presented. The total panoramic view is presented. Now, whether it is true or not, you go to Brahma only and ask, or to Sri Krishna only and ask. It is just to present that incredible picture. So it will never happen that creation is completely stopped. This manifestation and manifestation go on and on and on. This information we have been given to develop that spirit of detachment, that what are we really doing? Start thinking. Don't stop doing. While doing, start gaining that picture that all that we're doing is ultimately insignificant in the total scheme of time, total scheme of things. So this information is to gain detachment, not to stop effort. Okay, any other question? Prakash, okay. Tanya is coming here tomorrow.
Yes,
See you. Okay, Hari Om, then we'll end with the prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you.